Right, so we're talking about pitch. Now, we've got to remember two things. A note is either on a line. When I say on a line, like this note's on a line because the line goes right through the middle of it. This note's on a line for the same reason. All of these notes sit on the line goes through the middle. Whereas these notes sit in a space, right? We call that a space because the two lines above and beyond, it's right in the middle in the space between the lines. We remember this from when we did it? Yes? Right, good. Okay, can we remember, how do we work out what the notes are? Let's start with spaces because these first four notes are in spaces. What's the word we need to remember? Face. Very good. So we go from the bottom space to the top space. F, A, C, E. So that's how we work that out. Now, what about the notes that are on lines? How do we work out? What was the little rhyme we said? Go. Yeah.
Every good boy deserves football.
Very good. Every good boy deserves football. So all we need to do is remember that we need to start that rhyme counting from the bottom line. So if I did an example in this bar here, I would go, every good boy deserves football. So that note there on the top line, football, so that means the note is F. Here's the next one, every good boy deserves, so that must be a D. Every good boy, so that must be a B, which it is. Every good, that's a G. Every. Okay, now the only other thing that might confuse us is if we look at this note here. Now, technically, that note is not really in a space between lines, and it's also not on a line. So how do we work out what that note is? Can anyone either know or work it out? So if I give you a little hint, a little clue, this note is E. Yeah.
D.
It's a D. How did you work that out?
Well, normally because I just remember it, because I used to play violin and I always remembered the one under the line was a D.
Was D. Very good. And that is the reality of what will happen. The more we practice doing music and reading it, you get to the point where you don't have to count the lines and count the spaces. You just see the notes, just like you see the alphabet and you know what it is. But for everybody else, right now, this note we know is E, right? So this note is one below E. It's just one space lower than E. So if I go backwards through the music alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, the note before E is D. So that's what it is. Yes, question.
Do you only do it where the shaded in bit is?
When you say the shaded in bit, you mean the note head? That is exactly. That's telling us what the note is. It doesn't matter where the stick goes or how far the stick goes up or down. It's just the note head. Yeah, good point. Okay, so what we need to do is that two-step process. We look at the note, we look at it carefully to decide if it's on a space or a line, and then we work using the word face or the rhyme, every good boy deserves football, to work out the notes. One other example that might catch you out. Here's one. This note here, number 28, right? Is it on a line or in a space? It's on a line, but it's like an extra line. We call this a ledger line. So that's an extra line. So think of it like this. Every good boy deserves football, right? If I went up one note from F, where would I get to?
Would it be G?
It would be G. And if I went one note up from G, right, okay. The music alphabet stops at G, so it would be A. Okay, so when we get to G, we just start at A again. So that note, F, G, this one with the line through it, A. And it works the same, the other end of the stave, you just go backwards. Okay, I'm going to stop there, otherwise I'm going to run out of time.